Hey, AfterBuzzers and Floribama Shore fans, we are back for a new year, but the same old drama with our lovely, lovely Floribama fans. All right, guys, we are talking episodes 20 and 21. The Gus and Nilsa drama has not gone away, even though it's a new year. It's the same crap we're talking about, and we cannot wait to discuss it, so make sure you stick around.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I love this song, and it's so fitting too for this episode.
It is so fitting. Welcome back, guys, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year, CJ.
Happy
What's
New
going
Year.
on? How's your break?
My New Year was so amazing. My holidays were amazing. What about you?
It was great. I got to see my family, got to see my friends, and I went on a little fun trip to Big Bear, which was great.
I was not a crybaby like the song suggests, though.
And you
I
were
was
not a crybaby like more than half the people in this episode.
Yeah.
Welcome back, our lovely fans and friends. We are so excited to get into this week's episode because, man, oh man, it's a new year, same drama. 2019,
Yes.
You'd think that maybe some of the stuff we'd move on from. Unfortunately, we can't say that for Floribama.
Technically,
It's not
it
a
was
new year.
filmed
You're
last
right.
year, so I mean,
You're
maybe
right.
if they're like this next season, then we can say something.
You're right,
But,
touche.
yeah.
You got me there, alrighty. But then again, just to make sure you guys know, this is CJ Walker to my left.
What's up,
So
guys?
excited to finally have a co-host because I did do a couple of shows by myself.
Yeah, was
and
that brutal?
It was hard. I wanted to talk to someone about this
Yeah.
crazy, juicy drama. And hey guys, it's Nasta here again, and we're just gonna jump right in. Kortni and Gus sleeping together. I want to know your stance on whether you think. Do you think, one, she's breaking girl code?
I do, yes.
And two, do you find an issue with them sleeping together?
Okay, so there's a lot with this situation that's going on because first off, I think Kortni's just really oblivious to all of this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like she just is very spacey and doesn't really like think about these things. But I also think that Nilsa may be taking it too far.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think honestly, I'm gonna have to side with Nilsa because she should respect girl code, but I do think Kortni is like just I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's hard.
It
I
is
don't know.
very difficult
Yeah.
because Kortni is very oblivious to. She doesn't feel the same way other girls feel about certain things. She's just kind of like she does what Kortni wants. She does what Kortni feels, and if it doesn't bother anybody else, she just goes with it. She just goes
Yeah.
with her emotions, and so it's hard in that retrospect because. What I think she's doing is like she sees no wrong in it because she's feeling comfort, which I understand. The first night they slept together, I commend Gus for doing it because he wanted to make sure she was okay and make sure that she had company, which is
The first night.
which was when she was having the issues and
Okay, but like, okay, I can kind of see Nilsa's side because the first time was last season in New Orleans that
That's
happened.
true, that's
and
true.
then it happened again at the house, like in PCB, and then it happened a third time in Mexico. So
Right.
I kind of see like where Nilsa's coming from, where she's like, I've told you this bothers me like 3 times now.
Right.
You need to stop. So I kind of see
Right.
Nilsa's like in the right. Kind
I can understand that. I think the whole holding hands thing is a little bit much. It's a little too much in your face, but at the same time, they're only doing it because they are so drunk. Like they don't
Yeah.
even realize. Like some of the things you could tell when they were sitting on the porch and they were holding hands.
It's kind
They
of
don't even know what they're saying to each other at that point.
It's kind of I can't really see like when they're actually drunk or not because I think they might be drunk the entire
Right.
show. It's kind of hard to tell because sometimes they'll just like be drunk and you don't even see them drink anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it definitely could be stopped, and I think Kortni does mention how much she does care about Nilsa and she does want to be her friend.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
Does she though?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like if you care about someone and you know something's gonna upset them, just be like, I appreciate you being there for me as a friend, but I don't necessarily need you to sleep with me at the end of the night. Like,
True.
And I think that I understand Kortni's personality is to I don't care, I don't give a crap, whatever. She's just kind of like flies in the
She's
seat of her
like,
pants.
yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you know something's gonna irk somebody's nerves, just stop doing it. You
I
know?
agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think Nilsa did make a solid point that if she were to be doing this stuff with Jeremiah, would she be upset? Maybe.
I don't think Kortni would be upset. Nilsa would be doing that for
Just out
ill
of spite.
intention. Yeah. So that would maybe upset Kortni, but if it was the same situation where Nilsa and Jeremiah were just like it was strictly platonic, like they were just friends, I don't think Kortni would care as much.
Yeah. I think Kortni's also struggling right now because she doesn't really have that go-to person anymore in the house. She used to have Candace. They kind of fizzled out a little bit.
Yeah.
Then she had Jeremiah. That's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit over. I haven't even seen Jeremiah approach her this entire trip.
Yeah.
And so I feel like right now she's just struggling with not feeling loved by like the guys out there, and that was kind of like, you know, one of the hits, and then she doesn't really feel like she has anybody that she can go to. So I feel like she's really latching on to the relationship with Gus because she doesn't really feel that connected with anybody else in the house.
Yeah, I
And
can see
so
that.
I think that's kind of why, and that's why in her mind she doesn't see that she's doing anything wrong because she's so invested in him as a friend.
But I don't see that argument because there's a lot of people in the house who don't have. The only people I see who has someone in the
Is
house
Amy and
is
Nilsa.
Amy and Nilsa and Gus and Jeremiah. But everyone else, I think they're just like lone wolves, and I don't see them doing that.
That's a good point. I guess
So-
they are kind of just, they do it whatever they want. And like Kirk and Kodai kind of sometimes have a thing, but
Yeah.
Kirk also was like, Gus is my boy, like you're gonna be in my wedding someday, like in the first season 1, episode 1.
Wait, really? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
they were like drunk and said that, so I'm like, oh, Kirk. But yeah, they all kind of just do their own thing. So I
Yeah.
think you're right. But I think that it is kind of a girl code thing that if you know someone likes the guy that's cuddling with you, just push him away. Like if you're not getting any like.
But I don't think that's how Courtney's mind works.
It's
I don't
definitely
think,
not.
It's not. So I think she's just like, just going with whatever happens and doesn't care.
Right, and I think that we'll get more into the events that happened later on in the episode in a second, but I just want to say that I don't think that Courtney's going to be. She keeps saying it's okay, and she's she's apologizing, but not apologizing for her actions. She's apologizing for the fact that it hurt Nilsa's feelings, and I don't think I think she's going to probably just continue to do it. What do you think?
I don't think she's going to continue to do it because
Really?
I don't think Gus is going to let it happen anymore after like the events that happen. So
Interesting.
But we can talk about more of that later.
Yeah, we'll get into more of that drama and juiciness in just a second, but I will say there's so much drama on this show and so much drama and things to talk about on our AfterBuzz TV network. CJ, can you please tell all of our amazing fans how they can watch many other after shows?
Yes, I can. Hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you and you'll help grow AfterBuzz. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to this channel. Check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Thank you guys so much as usual. Please make sure you're commenting and subscribing and liking and everything to get our attention and let us know, and we might shout you out on air, which would be amazing. Also, if you're listening on iTunes podcast, go ahead and give us a 5-star, subscribe, comment.
Also, if you're in the live chat right now, I see we have 7 people. Engage with us so we can talk back.
Yeah, we need to know what you guys are thinking about this whole Gutney. Oh my gosh, I'm like combining them together unknowingly. Yeah, we need to know what you guys think about this Kortni and Gus situation. Do you believe she's breaking girl code? Do you think that Nilsa has something to be upset about? It's one of those things that this relationship and this whole Gilsa thing, I think I'm so over it. So I'm like so up and down, so hot and cold. I never know what to feel because I feel like it changes every episode, and I'm like, oh, well, sometimes I feel bad for Gus, sometimes I feel bad for Nilsa.
I also feel like this whole situation just being drawn out so long. They kind
Yeah.
of need a new story. Like, can we hear some more about Candace or like
Right?
Kirk or Kodai or something? Just like we only hear about Gus and Nilsa
Nilsa.
or like just something in that little group.
Well, and what's interesting is these two episodes for 20 and 21 really mesh together because it's the same drama just drawn out between 2 days. And
That's
so,
true. I did think that tonight's episode was just like really pointless, to be fair, because it was just like a bunch of random events. But the episode prior to that did have a lot more that was
a lot of the
happening.
more of the juiciness.
Yeah.
Speaking of juiciness, so Gus is really on the rise to just find a girl what's so funny is Gus has told us in previous episodes he doesn't want a girlfriend. He just wants to hang out. This is why he doesn't want to be with Nilsa. But then he meets Jules, who he gets in a stink about the entire weekend and like is like obsessed with her. So it's like,
well, he did that to himself because in the last episode he literally was talking to another girl. So why is he upset? He played himself.
Right.
You played yourself, Gus.
no, it's so true, and I think that's kind of what he's doing with Nilsa, and that was kind of a prime example. He likes to have multiple options, and now, and that's why he keeps Nilsa kind of on a string. He can say he doesn't have feelings for her, he doesn't want her to be around, he feels bad, but like, come on, Gus, we all know you have some sort of feeling for Nilsa just because you know if you have no one else that night, you do want to be able to come home to somebody.
I think Gus is just ridiculous. Like, this whole thing about him being in the funk over that girl is crazy, for one, and then he keeps going back to Nilsa's. I don't like it. I don't.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. So Nilsa finds a guy, and she kind of like gets played out last episode how like in the episode before that we talked about 2 weeks ago, she was like feeling this guy, and then he finds him sober,
and she's like, "Oh,
and she was
gotta
like,
go."
no thanks, yeah,
GG.
no thanks.
Yeah.
And so then she kind of is reverted back to Gus, and then Gus kind of finds his own girls. But it's just hard because it's like obviously Nilsa has said multiple times when she's drunk that she really likes him, and she admitted, she was like, I really like you, Gus.
Yeah.
And he takes all this information, and I know that there's so many episodes where we're like, okay, Nilsa, like he constantly tells you he doesn't want you, but at the same time, I understand now how she can be really confused because he constantly is bringing her back in. As soon as she's finally like, all right, whatever, he will do something to make her feel like she shouldn't leave.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, I just think, I don't know. I just am really biased against Gus because everything he does, I'm just like, no. Eric Clark in the check says Gus is a man, and he also says that they're in love. Do you really think they're in love? Also, Gus is not the man. He may think he is, but he's not. But yeah, do you think they're in love?
You know, and that's where I'm kind of. It's tricky because
I don't.
I don't think. Yes, no. You know what? Let's case in point. I don't think they're in love because Gus, if he loved her, he would just totally drop whatever he's doing and he would be with Nilsa. He's playing a game with her right now.
I think he's just trying to like pay her back.
Yeah, exactly. And they talked about that. And she was like, if I was on the same page as you last summer, we would be in a totally different spot. And he agreed with her.
Yeah.
And he was saying how if like we would be on a honeymoon right now. So it's like, why are you telling her those things? That's going to feed into her thinking that you still have feelings or have some sort of sense of a future or thinking that they could get together some way or another.
Yeah.
And I understand his actions are showing different, but words. It's funny because they say actions speak louder than words, but I feel like at the same time, Nilsa's holding on to these words that he's saying to her.
I feel like Nilsa is also just a super drama queen, especially in this last episode. You can see it like a lot. Mm-hmm. So they both are they're just toxic people for each other because Nilsa is a drama queen and Gus is like, how can I put this in a nice way?
I feel like he's a little bit of an attention seeker.
I was gonna say something that starts with a D and a bag.
I don't feel that harshly against Gus. I think he means well, but he's just confused. And like we need to not forget that he grew up and he has a little bit of self-esteem issues because he grew up like a little bit overweight, and so he's now this hot guy, and so he might have not had all the like he had mentioned like I didn't have the options that I did, and so I think he's still trying to like be a player, but like he has this sense where it's like he wants to be a player, but he doesn't know how to be. And then he at the end of the day, he wants just one girl. So I think he's confused, and he's mentioned this too. I don't know what I want, so I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, Amy, Nilsa's best friend, has said this many times, where it's just like, she just needs to walk away. And I really think she does. And I think that all of this drama could be put to rest if she legitimately would just finally, once and for all, hang up her Gus love letter jacket, whatever you want to call it, and just put it in the closet and never go back to it. Like, I want this drama to be done. I want her to stop going after Gus when he's gonna constantly feed her little, it's like fish. Like, he's gonna feed little like specks, and she's gonna keep going back for more.
Yeah.
And it's like, stop feeding into it.
Yeah, I agree. I do want the drama to end, but I do love drama, so I do want Kortni's and Nilsa's drama to like blow up even more.
Which it might. Let's talk about Candace for a second. So first
In
of all,
the
I
swing
love
thing?
Candace. This swing thing was crazy.
I feel that was the most dramatic thing. Like, the show didn't have to make it that dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, the last episode, or the episode last week, it ended with them like about to fall off, and it was so dramatic. I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Are they gonna die? No. This episode picked back up at that same spot, and they were like, just screaming, and they were saying it's fun. I'm like, was that necessary? Was all this editing?
Well, I think what they're trying to do too is that they are realizing that the only drama we have right now is the whole Kortni, Gus, Nilsa situation. There was a little bit of a stint with Jeremiah and Gus, which we'll get into in a second, but that one wasn't, it was like over within a second, and they apologized. You know what I mean?
So I feel you think they just needed a filler, basically?
I think they needed a filler, and they needed to give Kortni and Amy something, and that's why they paired them together, because Amy's always there to build Nilsa up and make her feel better. And Candace always has these fun like one-liners, but there's not too much focus on Candace and Amy, and I think they needed like something to kind of like be like, oh yeah, they're still here in a way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Which is why they kind of like really harped on Candace like facing her fears and swimming for the first time, and then also she faced her fears by doing like she was afraid of heights. Yeah. So I think it was nice to finally, we always say we want more Candace on camera.
We do, yeah.
And I feel like it was fun to see Candace these past two episodes really open up and actually seem to be having fun, because she's always the parent.
I do agree with that in a sense. I just think that it was pointless. Like, especially this episode, tonight's episode, I just think it should have had it should have mainly just focused on the Kortni and Nilsa fight, and not just like these random like, Gus is sulking about some girl, or like this, or they're doing like a whole segment over Kodai's twerking and his eagle thing. I'm like, what is this for?
It was kind of all over the place. And the way that the drama kind of unfolded, it was very much like, it was just very piecemealed. It was kind of, it's just all over the place. But anyways, Candace, it was fun to see a little bit more of her.
She always has those great one-liners.
She does have the great one-liners. But she is stirring the pot here, which I found really interesting. Because Candace is always there to kind of like be the voice of reason. Yeah. But I think she might just be done with Kortni and everything. And so it was really interesting to hear her kind of call Kortni out to Nilsa and cause a bunch of drama.
At the end of the episode?
At the end of the episode.
Yeah, I found that extremely, like, not Candace-like to just mention
unnecessary.
That. Yeah.
And so, but what that makes me believe is that she's just kind of done with Kortni. And I think she was just like, I want there to be no drama, but then she didn't realize it was going to escalate the drama.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, like, but did she, though? Because anything that has to deal with Nilsa is drama, so...
But I think it's one of those things that when you say what she said, which, like, she was basically telling her what she said before, like, the door. Kortni did not mean to slam the door in Nilsa's face.
Yeah, correct.
But I think Candace kind of didn't realize what she was going to say was going to stimulate Nilsa that much. She just wanted to let her know. But did you think that was necessary for Candace to say anything?
I don't think that was necessary, because I felt like Candace was just going to, like, let everything die down. I think that just sparked it back up. And honestly, Nilsa was being such a drama queen, like, about that situation with her getting hit in the face. She was just like, literally like dying, like on the bed, like, oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. Like,
I just think she wanted to milk the situation.
Yeah.
Because as soon as she got hit, Gus was right behind her and said something, and then as she got hit, Gus then went to her and grabbed her and was like there for her.
honestly,
So
like, yeah.
I'm thinking she might have just wanted to milk Gus being there for her, and earlier that day he had helped her with being hungover. So I think that she just was kind of like wanting to gravitate towards the more Gus feels bad for Nilsa and not Gus wanting to get rid of her.
Yeah, and Sky Grant in the chat says, I feel like Nilsa needs to grow a backbone when it comes to Gus. I agree
Yeah, she
with
needs
that.
to
Yeah.
walk away, guys. I
Yeah.
totally agree. I think that Candace has said it, Amy has said it, everybody in the house has said that she deserves so
Courtney
much more.
said it.
Yeah, Courtney said
Yeah.
it. And,
And
that's
if Courtney is Courtney's the voice of reason, then you really need to think, like, am I doing something wrong? When Courtney tells me I'm doing something wrong.
right. And the whole like laughing situation, it was just
Did you agree? Whose side were you on about that?
okay. I can
I was on Courtney's, 100%.
like laughing at the situation.
Yeah, because if I was Courtney, I would not have apologized, especially knowing how Nilsa is, because you probably don't see a lot on camera, but knowing how she is, she probably like acts like that all the time and makes it over
Right, so she was probably
dramatic.
like, whatever, just so happens you have to be behind that door, like,
Yeah,
of all
so
people.
if I was Courtney, I wouldn't have apologized, and I probably would have laughed too. But so yeah, I'm on Courtney's side.
Yeah. I'm on Courtney's side in the fact that, like, they added that sound effect to make it sound like it hurt more. And I think they'd all been a little bit tipsy at dinner, and so it was like feelings and emotions were heightened. And Nilsa immediately thought that Courtney was talking crap about her, so I think
Yeah, she was.
she was, but in a way, I think that, so Courtney was irked by Gus grabbing Nilsa's hand. And she was
Yeah.
just irked because she was making a good point where she was saying that Gus keeps coming to her saying, I don't want to do things when I'm drunk. I keep leading her on when I'm drunk, and then I regret it in the morning.
Yeah.
Because at first, I will say, I thought that Nilsa was just being cockblock. And I'm like, if they want to hook up, like, let them do what they want to do. But then hearing her talk to Candace in the bathroom, she was like, Gus keeps saying that he doesn't want to do this
Wait,
in
you
the
said
morning.
Nilsa was blocking Courtney?
No, Courtney was cock-blocking Nilsa and Gus, because remember when Nilsa came out, Gus was going to leave with her. But then Courtney was like, no, I'm not going to have that happen because you guys are going to regret it in the morning. And at first, I didn't understand why she wouldn't just let them do their thing because they're adults and they can figure it out. But I understood later on because she was like, Gus keeps telling me I'm regretting this in the morning. I don't want to hurt her. So I was just trying to protect the situation.
But Courtney should have just like stayed out of it.
Yeah. But at the same time, if someone continues to come to you and complain about something and you're there to protect that from happening, like maybe that was what her mindset was at the time being.
But if someone kept complaining to me and I told you don't do it, then I'm not gonna put myself in the situation. I'll just let you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Just don't come to me. I'll just be like, if you come to me again, I'd just be like, screw it. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just the whole Gus and Nilsa thing is that no matter what, they literally went home. I mean, like, we were making out with other people one day while they were in Cabo. And then at the end of the day, they come back and they're, like, flirting with each other.
Yeah, I'm just tired of this whole. I mean, I think this is the only drama that's happening in the house, which is why we've like seen it so long throughout the season. But like, can we have some new drama, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
want
want
it to come to an end, but I don't know if it ever will come to an end. Like,
Yeah,
is this going to be one of those things where, like, they're always going to have beef towards each other, and Gus and Nilsa are always going to have this weird, like, we don't like each other, but then we like each other sometimes?
I mean, like, I also think it's kind of for the show too, because Gus now currently lives in Arizona and Nilsa is in Florida. So
yeah. So, like, how's that going to work out?
yeah, I don't see anything happening off camera.
Right.
Yeah. So
But I think also, too, you're stuck with 8 people for an entire summer. Like, obviously, if you find someone attractive, it's so hard to just, like, let that go when you're constantly surrounded by them day in, day out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm like, okay, I'll give them a break. But at the end of the and especially because Nilsa isn't the kind of girl that she doesn't just go home with guys. So, like, she's gonna make sure that she likes the guy. And so I think for her, it's in her mind, she's like, oh, like she mentioned this episode, I have a guy that liked me, I like him now, why can't we just make this work?
Do you think, I've always wondered this, not to say she's doing this, but do you think Nilsa only wants to like hook up with Gus because they want to be like the king and queen of Floribama Shore, because she knows like she's the most attractive girl, he's the most attractive guy, we need to come together and like reign? Do you think that?
Are you asking me, like, do you think that for, like, social media purposes, or, like, she just wants that?
For social media purposes and for, like, the show. Do you think she's doing that on purpose?
No. I think that Nilsa sees qualities in Gus that she's wanted in a man, and she is upset that she didn't jump on the opportunity when she had the chance. And I think that she's just very regretful because now she's just like, how did I not see what I had in front of me? Yeah. And so I think she's just wishing that she had that opportunity, and it's just aggravating knowing that she had him, and now that she doesn't, she's just like trying to figure out why it's not the same, but it's gone. It's too far gone at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that thought that I just said, that's low-key been on my mind, but like, I don't know her
great
personally.
Point.
Yeah, I don't know her personally, so I don't want to say like she's doing that, but I can low-key, like, is she? So.
I guess, like, when you think about it image-wise, that would be like, oh, wow, like, we look so, like, it would work well, and it would make sense, and it would make people, like, everybody likes a love story, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, if this were to end up a happy love story, everybody would eat it up. So, I don't know, I mean, that's a great point that you raised. That could be a prediction. Who knows?
Thought. Brains.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't know. I really, for, I don't know, 20 episodes now, like basically all of season 2. Yeah. I've been like, I don't understand where this is going, and I can't even begin to predict if this is going to be Endgame or not, because it's like one episode
for their
I'm
relationship?
Like, right, because
relationship.
Yeah, he was using air quotes if you were listening to the podcast.
Air quotes.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's so up and down, and like I've said so many times, I constantly am going back on my word because I'm like, but wait, actually, this doesn't, like, this, you know what I mean? Like, it's so wishy-washy. I don't even know anymore.
Okay, honestly, tonight's episode, the star, I think, was Kirk.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
No,
I just
but
know
he has his moments.
Don't like talking about Nilsa and Gus so long.
But there's no way, there's nothing else like, really, like, that was the main juice of this, and then obviously the Kortni drama. Yeah. But really, Kortni just needs not care. Like Candace was saying, like, why do you care? Why are you putting yourself into their drama now? Yeah. Why do you think she's doing that?
Kortni?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she's just like, she's just over all of the complaints and stuff. Yeah, I think she's just over it. And just like me, she's over the Nilsa and Gus thing.
Yeah, I hope it'll end soon, but who's to say that'll happen? I mean, we'll see. But let's jump over to talking about Gus and Jeremiah, their first tiff of the entire series, basically.
Yeah, I was living for that, too.
Were you? Were you excited?
Because I was like, Batman and Robin, they're going heads.
Right, and did you agree with Jeremiah and what he was saying to Gus?
I don't know. What about you?
I agreed with Jeremiah because this is my thing. Okay, so you're upset about a girl. Yeah. You literally got her number. Eventually, you could call her if you ever wanted to. But, like, likelihood of that happening, get over it, dude. You're in Cabo. You're having fun with your friends. You're on a TV show. Like, really, are you going to get that butthurt that you don't have this girl? Like, enjoy yourself. And my thing is, like Jeremiah was saying, we're all trying to have fun. If you have someone that's bringing down the crowd, just don't go out then. If you want to sulk, stay at home and sulk. Why did you need to come out? If you knew and had this headspace that you were in a bad mood, then why did you continue to go out?
Yeah, I low-key agree with Jeremiah, but he's my least favorite person on this show, so I can't say I agree with him. So I'm going to say I agree with Kodai, because Kodai was the one. Kodai was telling him to like chill out and like calm down. Same with Amy. Yeah. Jeremiah, whatever.
I don't have a problem with Jeremiah or Gus, but I'm just saying I was appreciative that Jeremiah called him out because he needed. It was just even watching it, I'm like, gosh, you are really just being sour right now, and like you've got a a beautiful meal in front of you. You've got drinks. You're surrounded by friends. Like, there's no need to be acting like that. Like, that's just immature. But I did appreciate how he owned up to it when him and Jeremiah talked that night or the next day. I was really appreciative that Gus was able to be like, I'm stubborn, and it was like I was totally being stubborn. Like, there's nothing you could have told me. But
yeah, I feel like, well, I knew that Gus was going to do that because he's Jeremiah's Robin.
Yeah.
So he can't be mad at Robin or Batman that long.
That's true.
But
you gotta get over it.
Yeah, but I really wanted that argument to like last a little longer so we could stray away from like Gus and Nilsa and stuff. But it didn't. So I mean, you still saw like Jeremiah going to eat or trying to go eat breakfast by himself, which was interrupted, and that was so awkward. So
it wasn't. It was just weird that everybody's so upset about. Oh well,
you didn't
you
wake
guys.
me up.
Yeah, and it's like if you're on.
Well, yeah, I think that was just like a small like argument that was just blown up for the editing, but because I mean, like if someone didn't wake me up, I'd be like, bro, why didn't you wake me up? And I think that's what they got.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're left out of the group if like everybody's downstairs. But I'm glad that Kortni was like, dude, I thought you guys were down here, so I came down here, and then whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. All the drama. You thought that it'd be gone in Cabo because they're in this amazing place, but it wasn't. And now they're back in PCB, and like, what
yet.
more could happen?
Did they leave? No, they're still in Mexico.
I think they're good. I think next episode jumps to them back in PCB.
Okay.
Yeah. So because it looks like Kodai's family's visiting.
Yeah, that is true.
Which Kodai, gotta love him. He was like, if you can't love yourself, what can you love? When he was in his Speedo.
I don't think the drama will last that much longer, especially between Kortni and Nilsa. Do you have something for that?
In a second, but really quick, before we get into some news and gossip, do you think that Kortni and Nilsa, besides what I'm about to bring up, do you think that this is going to stretch out into what Nilsa would like to press charges? Like, do you think she's actually going to press charges?
I don't, because in the end of the episode, they didn't even show a preview for that. So, I mean, I would hope it would because it'd cause some more drama, but I don't think so.
But also, it was not of ill intention. She had no idea who was behind that, and it was just bad timing.
And they're friends, like they knew each other before the show too. So I don't think she's gonna press charges. If she does, then that's so dumb and over dramatic. But I don't think that it will happen.
That whole thing was just a little bit over dramatic, and all of them have their times where they all just say one little word or one little thing. Just like Kodai said the thing to Gus about Nilsa saying, "Oh well, he should just go to Kortni's bathroom because they are in love or whatever." Yeah. Kodai said that when he didn't need to. Like the drama could be put to rest, but then Kodai like put that little zinger in there, and then this could have been put to rest almost. But then Candace had to put the zinger in about the karma thing. So. I don't know. We gotta have podsters though, because that's what makes the show good.
Yeah.
Before we get into some predictions for what we're gonna see next week, we would like to get in some news and gossip.
Ooh.
AfterBuzz TV News.
I love these little
right? Makes it so much fun. Well, guys, obviously we haven't seen the drama played out, but Kortni did post for Nilsa's birthday saying, "Happy birthday to the most beautifully souled person God has put on this planet. We fight like cats and dogs, but you are like a sister to me. I love you so much, baby girl. Don't ever forget that, ... And then Nilsa said, love you.
Yeah, see, this just proves that there's no ill will. I think Nilsa's not going to press charges.
Right.
Nothing is going to happen.
We're all good. Also, they're all drunk majority of the time. Like, most of the things you say when you're drunk, you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't care. Like, that stuff's behind. But we're catching all of those moments and playing them out. And, like, we need to remember that during this, when Nilsa's like, I'm pressed charges, they were all tipsy. They were all at dinner. They were having a time. It was their last night. They were all drinking. Yeah. Kortni was definitely drunk in the bathroom. So it's like, we need to remember that when we're watching, because sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But it's like...
And you also forget that Nilsa and Kortni were friends before all this happened.
Right.
Even though, like, Nilsa and Amy are, like, BFFs now, Nilsa and Kortni do have a lot of history. So, obviously, like the picture shows...
they still love each other.
They still love each other.
There's no drama. And a lot of them, all on social media, love each other. So it's like all this drama, but who knows if Gus and Nilsa will ever love each other.
I don't
That's
know.
still one that is written in the stars. Who knows what will happen with that?
Who knows?
Let's get into some predictions.
Ooh, spooky.
Now, your AfterBuzz
It's Halloween in
TV.
October. Ooh.
In January.
Or you say, I mean, yeah, no,
Halloween, October.
Halloween is October.
Man, it's 2019.
I'm embarrassed.
No, it's okay. All right, so what do you think is going to happen next episode?
Next episode, I don't know. This episode kind of left us like not really going anywhere. The most
Yeah.
like it's just gonna be more of Nilsa and Gus. Nilsa is not gonna press charges against Kortni.
Yeah.
They're gonna go back to PCB, drink some more, go clubbing. That's it.
Yeah. I agree. I think that everything's going to kind of die down, but then pick back up again in Panama City. But it looks like Kodai's family's coming, so that'll be a little nice taste of probably no drama for a little bit, because they're
Yeah.
probably not going to do that in front of his parents. But I don't know. We will see.
I want there to be drama between Candace and someone.
Kortni. It's going to be Candace and Kortni.
Yeah, what if that happens? What if I want it to come out that Candace told Nilsa about Kortni, and then Candace and Kortni fight, and that blows up in front of Kodai's parents, and then everything just goes AWOL.
That's going
That
to be
would be
crazy.
awesome.
I could actually see all of that happening. Just
Yeah.
add a little bit tequila, and there you have a lot of drama. Yeah, I just think that I think that things are definitely going to be crazy next episode, and they might maybe put it off for a little bit, like until Kodai's parents leave. But I think there's still going to be really awkward tension in the house, and
Yeah.
who knows what's going to happen.
We'll see next week.
We will have to wait and see and be patient. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us
Happy
yet again.
holidays.
We cannot wait to discuss next week's episode, all the juicy drama, as always. But in the meantime, CJ, where can they find you on social media?
What's up, guys? CJ Walker. You can find me everywhere at iCJ Walker, even on YouTube because I'm a YouTuber.
And hey guys, Nasta here. Find me on Instagram at AllieGirl. And of course, follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms. We will see you next week. Bye!
Later.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.